to another episode of the Courtside Conference Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Stroud. With me today, I have the boss man, Derek. What's good, D?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm straight. And today's special guest, Twitter celebrity, Jack _ Michael.
I wouldn't go that far. But thank you.
We're a Celtics Twitter legend. Pioneer.
Too kind.
My guy from the group chat, who the only one who isn't ducking me to come on here. I'm gonna go by the JJ later on.
I don't know. You might not get him.
Yeah, I know, right? No, he doesn't like us that much.
That's right.
But how's it going, bro?
Pretty good. Just working, studying for CPA exams. So my life is miserable. This is like my break. I'm like, oh, thank God Sam asked me to come on. I don't have to study right now. Like,
I feel you. So what's the CPA exam about?
It stands for Certified Public Accountant. It's basically just like the difference between like an accountant and a CPA is basically just like you're allowed to like sign tax returns essentially, which like I'm not going to ever have to do like for my job, but like basically like they always say like, oh, if you're going into accounting, just get your CPA and then it makes you like more employable, I guess.
So you could work at like H&R Block or something like that.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But it's 4 exam parts, and obviously like with COVID and everything, I had like big delays and stuff and how I had to take it. So it's been a whole nightmare, but don't want to get into that. Or else I'll just start complaining for an hour. Right, exactly. So basically a year now I've been studying.
God.
Yeah, right.
You haven't taken either part of it yet?
There are 4 parts. I took 2 so far. I passed both. But this part that I'm studying for right now, it's in 3 weeks from today, actually. So it's really hard. It's like the whole like tax law and all that stuff and business law and like, yeah, it's like
Jesus Christ. So once you finish that, are you done with all school related stuff? Like finally?
Once I finish CPA, yeah. So theoretically should be done in March of 2021. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So let's hope.
Let's hope. But let's get to it. So you a Celtics fan, so when exactly did you become a fan?
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of became a fan I'll put it this way, like I don't really remember watching like 2008 finals. I'm sure I watched it, but like it's long enough ago for me at least to where I'm just like I don't really remember. I was 11 years old, like yeah. I really don't. 2010 is when I really start like remembering, which sucks because obviously it's 2010, but yeah. But I guess I'm really a Celtics fan because my dad, he was a Celtics fan, so he kind of like passed it along to me. For those who don't know, I'm from New York, so obviously a little bit of a disconnect there, but to be a Celtics fan in New York, but yeah. Right. But my dad was a Celtics fan, so he kind of passed it on to me. And I've been a Celtics fan ever since.
Yeah, you went to school at BU?
Boston University. Yeah.
Yeah. Was trying not to say Boston College. Want to make sure I got it wrong.
No, it's all right. But yeah, so I went to BU. Obviously, it was great because I graduated in 2019. So like the 4 years I was there from 15 to 19 was a good period to be, in Boston for Celtics games. I got to go to a couple of good games, couple of good playoff games, which was really fun as well. And then obviously, Sam, we went to the opener in 2018.
That was a fun one before the season went downhill.
That was the climax of that season.
The first game.
It really was. It kind of was.
Yeah.
It kind of was. That Jalen like fake dunk on Embiid was like the best moment of my life.
Yeah.
It was like the last happiness I remember.
Yeah.
But we won't get too much into that. We don't talk about that on like every show at this point. Oh man, that's what's up. That's what's up. I think everybody in our age range kind of like latched on to that same year, pretty much.
Yeah, because it's like
Derek,
when you
he might
first
be like
like.
a few years before us.
Oh yeah, I got on. I became a Celtics fan like I think early 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was suffering with Paul Pierce. That was,
right. Like I was gonna say, like for someone like me, like I've only had one like bad year to be a fan. Like it's just
right.
the Marcus Smart lottery year. Like other than that, it's been great. Like
the best lottery team ever.
That's right.
Stamps.
Kelly Olynyk leading the tank, baby. Let's go.
Let's get it.
God.
Dope. Let's get into today. We had a pretty eventful first 30 minutes to start the day. That's about it. Then kind of fizzled out.
Yeah.
But the one big trade, we got CP3 to the Suns for who was it? Oubre, Rubio, Ty Jerome, and some picks.
Yeah.
And Jalen McHugh.
Yeah. That's kid in the G League or whatever, right?
I think he was in the G. I think he had a 2-way contract. I think.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. OKC's got a stupid amount of picks now.
Got like half of first round or something.
Yeah.
Almost like they got half the draft.
Right.
Years.
And they're right. And it's funny because like obviously like Sam Presti has been their GM forever. So like he's the one, he drafted Kevin Durant, he drafted James Harden and everyone. But like in the past couple of years, he only drafts guys by their dunk rating now. So it's going to be funny that they're going to have like.
Then you have to actually like draft your player. You have like the top
right.
It's
pick. Right. So he's not just going to get like, okay, like who can jump the highest. That's what we're getting. Like,
right. Monty Bates comes soon.
Right. Exactly. I mean, if they're like really bad this year, like they could be in the running for Cade next year, which is cool for them. Like, because So who knows?
I don't know how you go from the season you just had this season to
like a lottery.
Like, I don't. It's just weird because they superseded a lot of expectations. I definitely didn't expect them to go as far as they did, or even have the seeding that they had, because that made But I mean, hopefully it works for them.
Does Chris Paul take the Suns to the playoffs?
I think so. Yeah,
they'll at least be in the playoffs.
I mean, like they're right. Like they were like good last year. They were fine. Like but like obviously Chris Paul is going to be like, I mean, probably not their best player. Probably Booker is probably better than him at this point. But like. Like Chris Paul's good. Like he's really good.
Yeah. Still really good.
I think that Aaron Baines was the unsung hero of that team this past season.
Yeah. Also, because I think Ayton missed a bunch of time, right? Didn't he? Oh, he had that like.
Yeah, he got suspended because
That's right.
He was on not PEDs, but he was probably smoking weed or something.
Yeah.
Suspended 50 games.
All right.
Yeah, I probably would have kept Kelly Oubre though. That's the only thing that I kind of like. But you know,
they got
that makes sense.
Mikal Bridges though.
Yeah, like they got Bridges. They have Cam Johnson, who's pretty good, and I think like from what I've heard today, like I've seen it just on the timeline, obviously. So take this with whatever like certainty you have, right? But like they could go after guys like Gallinari, who would be like obviously like not the defensive player that Oubre was, but like that offense with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, like Gallinari, Ayton, and then whoever, I guess Cam Johnson too. Like that's insane. Like
just finally having some real NBA players around Booker.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And they still got Saric too, or is he for contract this year?
I actually have no idea.
I have no.
I know it's either this year or next year.
Oh, Sam, I just got your email with the Zoom code.
Yeah. I wonder what happens with Steven Adams now. Like, you think he stays? Or
no, I think I saw something that said he's up for trade too.
He is.
I think he's an aspiring deal too.
He makes like $25 million, which I don't know if like like what teams would then want to like take that on? You know, I mean, if he is expiring, like it's whatever, but like what are like 'cause the teams that have like cap room are like Atlanta, but they already have Capella and John Collins, and then I think the other one's like Indiana, and they already have Miles Turner and Sabonis. Like obviously these guys are guys that could also get traded, but like the teams that have like room to take him in are like not like they don't need Steven Adams. Like so it is, yeah, it's definitely weird.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, when we were in the talks in like early last season or before last year, I'm glad we kind of passed on that one.
Yeah.
So you don't want to pay about so much for like not a really great center, but just a like really good one. Especially we already had a really good one for like the minimum almost.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like the same argument that people are saying for like Miles Turner now, where like Turner is not like a significant upgrade to justify paying that much more than Tice. Like it's the same thing with Steven Adams. Like and also, I would say Miles Turner might be more valuable just because he could shoot threes and he like is a better shot blocker too. So
yeah.
Like definitely don't want to pay $25 million to Steven Adams. No offense, like good on him for getting the bag, but like
you know, and you can just like draft another player with that same skill set, or just run it back with Tice.
It sucks because like unless you're getting a center, at least like for me, like my opinion, like unless you're getting a center that's like Embiid or like Jokic level, you know, like offensively and with Embiid defensively, like I don't think it's worth like just get like 5 guys that can then do a bunch of stuff. Like run out, you can play like Grant at center, you can play Tice at center, you can play Rob Williams at center. Like you have 3 guys that do a bunch of different things. Like, and Tice has proven that he can play in big minutes. Obviously, he got eaten alive by Bam, but like Bam's really good.
He ate everybody alive though.
Bam's really good.
That was phenomenal.
Oh my
God. And then like obviously in the Raptors series, Grant proved that he could play like those end of game minutes too. Like so you have guys that could do that. So you don't need to like overpay for a guy like Miles Turner or a guy like Steven Adams.
Right.
At least like my opinion. Like
I agree with you.
And honestly like that's gonna tie into some of the foreshadowing into the draft takes too. So
But y'all feel the other significant news from today, apparently James Harden finally does want to trade after not wanting to trade like Wednesday.
Right.
That one's so weird, man.
Him and Russ.
Yeah, but he's signed to like 23. Like I don't see how he has any leverage.
He doesn't. He really doesn't.
You can want to go somewhere all you want. That doesn't mean that the team is going to trade you to that specific place. It's whoever has the best assets.
And they don't have to trade him at all.
And they don't.
No.
They can literally just run it back for the whole season. It's not the NFL where you can like hold on, you have to show up.
Yeah.
It's like not like like with Jimmy Butler, he said to the Sixers last year, he was like, I want to get traded to Miami, and they're like, okay, I guess we'll just trade you, even sure, whatever you want, sir. Like and Harden's asking to go to the place, like obviously if the Brooklyn thing is real, like he's asking to go to the place that has like the worst package that could possibly trade for him.
LeVert,
like,
Dinwiddie, and
so
Jared
funny.
Allen.
It's so funny. Like 25 teams or more, like in the NBA, could offer better, and he's like, no, I want to go there.
Like if Philly comes in right now with a package, they're automatically the favorite to get him.
Ben Simmons.
Right. Like Ben Simmons is better than like probably anything else that they could, like any of the teams that would trade something for him.
Yeah.
Like unless Golden State is like, we'll trade you Steph. Like he's injury prone. We'll get rid of him.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Thinking about Harden in Brooklyn, like even if that were to happen, I've already seen people in the last day write them automatically into the finals. I honestly don't even see how that works. I don't see how those 3 work together all season.
It's so weird.
So my thing is like, if they all buy in, they could. Big if again. So I think KD and Kyrie
It's
want
a
to
big if.
exactly. So I think Harden is like a little more selfless than he kind of gets credit for, because he let Russ take over the team.
Yeah.
So I think he and Chris Paul. So I think Harden is a little selfless. And I'm not calling Kyrie and KD selfish, but I think they want a team where they can finally do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Because if not, KD will obviously still be in the Warriors and playing in the system.
Yeah. But I mean,
and Kyrie will still be with us playing and like how we want to play. So I think they kind of.
I don't think he would be. That
either way, but you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, I think they want to be like. I think they want free reign 100% of the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why I say it's a big if. But if they were to buy in, I think Harden like being the best passer of the three would kind of benefit them because they would only have to worry about scoring. But at the same time, Harden is like super ISO based at the same time. So if he doesn't have the ball, he's kind of like disengaged.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering.
So that's where it gets a little iffy.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if like that kind of OKC Harden, like where he kind of did do like obviously more things than just like take layups and shoot threes. Like
he was like the point guard with Russ and KD.
Right, or even just like they used him like off ball because he was playing with Russ and KD. Like, because since then, obviously, like he hasn't really had like other than with Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook the last 2 years, like he hasn't really had like another like high usage, I guess, like point guard next to him. Like, so it's gonna be like it's gonna be like. I have no idea how they like write up an offense for that kind of team. Exactly. Like it's just like insane. Like you're gonna say Kyrie, go be Joe Harris, like go be an off ball shooter. Like it's I don't know. Like I'm way above my pay grade. Like
8 years of being like the only ball handler, or just being able to have the coach look at you and say, "Yo, go do that." And go do this, and go do all that stuff. Now you're in a situation
like suddenly,
where like, hey, don't do all of that.
Right, like suddenly you go from having to like either pass like on a roll to like Clint Capella or PJ Tucker, or like your roll man goes from Clint Capella to Kevin Durant, and in the corner instead of PJ Tucker you have Kyrie Irving. So it's like, like he'll be like, yeah, sure, like take the ball. I don't want it. You guys got it. Like, I don't got to do shit.
Yeah.
I know you saw the 2K clip where the guy put Harden on the nets. He was like, "This is their offense," and it's like the three of them taking turns like dribbling for like 5 seconds.
That was hilarious.
I saw that earlier. Could not stop laughing.
It's so funny too, because like the coaching staff and how like everything that's come out where they're like Kyrie and KD have like they want so much control over the offense, or I guess how they run the team in general. It's like no coaching staff, just vibes. Like no locker room, just vibes. Like,
but I feel like they really do want like that to a lesser extent, which makes it
right.
Kind of
well, isn't D'Antoni an assistant on that team? Or am I imagining? He is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, with Steve Nash and Iman Shumpert, not Iman Shumpert, Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah,
right. That's right. It's the craziest locker room I've ever seen in my life.
That's the team I am just gonna look at for entertainment next year.
Right.
They could either be just like they could either be the best team in the league or just like a middle of the pack team.
It reminds. Do you guys remember that first it was like the first year the Rockets hired D'Antoni after Kevin McHale left? When they had like Ryan Anderson starting. Do you remember that first game and they scored like 140 points or something? And it was like, oh my God, this is new basketball. Like, it's gonna be like that. It's just gonna.
Didn't they have who else was on that team? It was Ryan Anderson. Clint Capella was there, right?
Yeah,
I think he might have still been on like the bench at that point though. Like they might have been starting Anderson at center.
Yeah, they were starting
still on the team.
Yeah.
No, he was gone by then.
Yeah.
This is like post Dwight Howard, so Jeremy Lin was gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
and the first year with Eric Gordon too.
Yeah.
In fact,
That's right.
the
Yeah,
first
that's
month of the
right.
season
That's
is just
right.
Harden, Gordon, Ryan Anderson like spamming threes all
It's
day.
just chucking,
Yeah.
right?
And I think they
He
still
didn't
have Pat Beverly there too, right?
Yeah, even Beverly was getting in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
mix a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
Oh my god.
That was an
Oh
interesting
my
take,
god.
man.
Just a hilarious team. You're right, exactly. Like, so it could be like that in Brooklyn, like just a hilarious, like, I mean, still probably good. Like, I think
Yeah.
like even if they don't trade for Harden, like they're gonna be good. Like
They're gonna
Kyrie
be
Irving is
fine.
good. Kevin Durant's good. Like,
Karis LeVert's really good.
He is.
yeah, it's like it's
Yeah.
not like they have like bad players. It's just that last year they didn't have their like actual two
Yeah.
best players.
They were hurt all last year, so
Yeah.
Right.
And like my thing is, I want to know what happens with Spencer Dinwiddie. Like my thing is, if you're gonna go get someone else to play either the 1 or 2 in the starting lineup, why not just put him there with Kyrie Irving?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
I think from what I know, he's kind of like the guy that's like he really wants to get his. Like if he has the ball in the end of the game, like he's like, yeah, it's Spencer Dinwiddie time. Like,
yeah,
even when he has Kyrie, even when he has KD, like, so I think that's kind of a dynamic in the locker room that's happening a bit. I think and also just like he's on a good enough contract to where like other teams might want to give up something for him. Like something that I saw was like Spencer Dinwiddie for like Royce O'Neal. Because then Royce O'Neal is just like another off-ball guy. Because like they have Kyrie and KD, and then if they're keeping I think they love LeVert. Like if they're keeping LeVert long term, he's another guy that can like initiate or like handle the ball. Like it'll just end up being too many. Like with KD, with Kyrie, with LeVert, with Dinwiddie, it would just be too many. Like I guess too many cooks. Like just trying to get.
And I think Kyrie and KD really like LeVert and want him there too.
Yeah.
Maybe not at the expense of like getting Harden, but just in general.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't give up.
Well, I mean,
if I could avoid it,
he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You don't need all that. You don't need if you have it, it's nice, but you don't necessarily need all the star power. Yeah. Especially when it's more currently like big twos or for the moment, opposed to the trios we saw just like 2 years ago. So
yeah.
I mean, if it's like if KD is KD, like they're just gonna be really good anyway. Like,
exactly.
Because he's just like he's KD. Like,
but even if he's like,
much else to say.
Even if he's like 70% of old KD, that's still like a really, really good player.
Sure. Yeah. Or even if like he could do everything still, he just moves slow because he tore his Achilles. Like that's still really good too. Like
that they still 6'11".
Yeah, maybe
shoot over everybody.
Yeah.
Right, like maybe he can't drive as well, but like he could still shoot from anywhere. He could still post up from anywhere, and like I'm sure he has ways of getting to the rim just because his arms are longer than anyone else. Like,
just maybe start his possessions a little closer to the basket.
Yeah.
Then like
like
you want him to attack or drive.
He really is one of those guys that I don't think you ever have to worry about. Like,
unless he gets hurt again, then that's the only issue.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But if he's healthy, he's too good not to find a way to produce at a high level. So,
right.
And they traded for what's his name, Bruce Brown from the Pistons.
Bruce Brown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's a good player. He's like he's like a 3-and-D guy, I think, something like that.
He's like a wing. Yeah, he's pretty. I mean, he's alright. Like he's not like some like game changer. I think. Yeah, but I don't know.
I'm not gonna pretend to watch the Pistons. So.
Yeah.
Right.
The only thing about the Pistons that I'm interested in is Derrick Rose. I would if we're gonna get rid of Brad Wanamaker or however that situation is gonna shake up, Derrick Rose would be one of the guys I would look at that I would like to have on the team if we have to make that move. Either that or Waters.
I like Tremont a lot.
Yeah,
I like Waters. Yeah,
he's a little tiny, but I think he's really smart though.
Oh, for sure.
You could tell he's really like he knows how to play. Like even at like he could play at like an NBA level. Like you could tell.
I watched him make magic out of nothing like at LSU that last year. So
yeah, he was lighting up summer league.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's see what other trade. Anything else happen of note today? Besides,
I don't think so.
We got some guys opt in. DeRozan opted in. Robin Lopez out. think Wesley Matthews opted out.
Oh yeah.
What's up with
Anthony
the guy
Davis opted out.
Yeah. AD to Chicago. What's up with the guy the Magic just signed today? Was he overseas or something?
Who?
Their rookie from last year.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, Chuma Okeke?
Yeah.
He tear his ACL in March Madness last year or something?
Oh, that's what happened.
I remember. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure.
So does he get to start his rookie deal like a year after everyone else? Like,
I have no idea. I guess
he
just took a year.
I've never seen anything like that before.
See, that's weird. See, I would
Didn't that happen? I think that happened with. Yeah, well, because it happened with Blake Griffin or maybe Blake, maybe not, or it happened with Ben Simmons, obviously too. Like, where he missed this whole rookie year.
Yeah, but they signed that same year though.
Oh,
they're saying he just now signed his rookie contract today.
That's interesting. So maybe they had him on like some sort of two-way or something just to keep him like in the organization, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That's not my.
That is very weird. But I hear that they're willing to let go Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the Warriors as like a hot spot for him, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they have like that, like a trade exception, I think, from Andre Iguodala, and I think he fits into it. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah.
Because he makes, I think it's somewhere around like 16 million, and he makes something like that too. So.
I like Aaron Gordon. I think
Aaron Gordon's for 16.
I think something like that around there. It's pretty low, like. Evan Turner money.
Running back money.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh. Shoot. You think we're trading Hayward for? Or if he gets traded?
I don't know. Like, it's so weird because it's like, at the same time, like, there have been rumblings like that he's going to opt out or that he doesn't like it in Boston or that it's like, you know, Massachusetts foot blue. So he's like, I'm out of here. Like, but it's like at the same time, like, he wouldn't, I don't think he'd opt in if like he thought there was like a big chance he was going to get traded, you know? So like, if he's opting in, I think he thinks in his mind that he's at least going to be able to play out this year with the Celtics, or at least start the season with the Celtics and go to the deadline or whatever. Because there's no point in him opting in if he's just going to get traded. He'll just go sign somewhere. Like,
yeah, unless he wants to keep that last bit of money on his deal.
Right.
So he's not getting that 34 back. He might get like 25 or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be 25, but then it would be another 100 million because it would be 4 years. You know, because like,
do you
like
think
Atlanta can pay him that? I think he probably will. He almost certainly will. Like, I don't know. Like, he'll definitely get like Jaylen Brown money, I would think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
which is over 100 million. Like. I mean, Al Horford just got 130 million or whatever. So
so he has the right to demand.
That was out of spite. I don't even consider that normal.
He's at the least he's getting is 20, I would say.
Yeah. Right. Like even if something like average, like, you know, like 20 per year, 25 per year, like the equivalent of like a 4-year $100 something, $100 million, something like that. Like there's just no, like, he's still really good. That's the thing.
Definitely.
Like, that's kind of what I've been saying. Like, I don't think I've said it too much, like, on the timeline. It's more been in, like, DMs. But, like, he's really good. Like, he was probably the Celtics, like, third best player this year, maybe, like, when he was healthy. Like, people, like, before he broke his hand, he was playing amazing.
I think he was our best player before he broke his hand.
Yeah.
Then, of course, Tatum made the leap past, like, everybody. So.
Right. Yeah.
But he also saved us in the playoffs, too.
Right, like obviously before the hand injury he was playing great, and then in the playoffs, like, he's just another guy that can, like, you trust, like, to make decisions and to create advantages, like, in a playoff setting. Like, he's a guy that can shoot, dribble, pass,
And the chemistry between him, Tatum, and Brown is amazing too. So
phenomenal.
And Kemba too. Even
and Kemba. So I don't think there's 3 like wings in the league who could fit that well together.
Yeah.
Right. It's just always good to like have a guy like him on your team, even if it's like, you know, obviously this would be his last year. Like it's just good to have like a really good wing, because it's just, you know, you never know what could happen. Someone could get hurt, something can happen, and then you have another guy on your team that you trust to like, he could play point guard essentially, you know. So it's
for sure.
Like, I would say I'm like firmly anti trading Gordon Hayward. Obviously, like complete lame human being, like right.
But like, I don't mind him coming back. It's just like
he puts the ball in the basket. Right, exactly. There's that whole like, you know, dynamic to it. So I don't know. Like my personal feeling, like don't trade him. If he does get traded, like I don't know. It's so weird because like, obviously like the salary has to match, and it's like, would a team give up like a first round pick for him? And if there's a team willing to give up a first round pick for him, like how good is that pick going to be? Or if they're willing to give up a player, like are they willing to give up a player that makes them worse and us better? Like, you know, like I don't know, like it's all just like risky.
I'm not on the side of trading him. Like I don't think he needs to be traded at all.
No.
But
right.
If for some reason he doesn't want to stay, try to get him to sign and then do the trade.
Like, right.
So get him to opt in and then move him.
Yeah.
Right. And if he doesn't want to be here, he's just gonna opt out. And it's like you couldn't have done anything about it anyway. Like
so
because that was in his mind from the start. So you know, no control.
I'm not mad. I like it. I like it either way. If he stays, if he goes. I
I
think my preferred package, if he does leave, is to kind of flip him for Drew somehow.
Yeah, that would be really cool, honestly. Like
I can't fully talk myself into Miles Turner for some reason. Especially not him like alone. Like every time I will be like set on him for like maybe a couple hours. Then I'll get bored and just start thinking. They're like looking at numbers and it's just like, like that's a lot of money for like what he actually does bring. Like the thought of him is like what you want him to be is a great thought, but what he actually is, he's not a bad player, but it's just like what you said earlier. Should we really pay this much for maybe slightly better Tice?
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what people like get caught up in, is they're just like, they get caught up in like the idea of what Miles Turner is. Like he's going to come out here and shoot 10 threes and block 5 shots. Like, And like, he's shown that he could do that, but like not like super consistently.
Yeah. So it's like, I can't really fully, like if it happens, cool. But I can't really I can't go out my way and like starting the whole hype train for him like I would any other guy we trade for.
Yeah.
But like that's why I say I think Drew will be my preferred swap for Hayward, because that's another All NBA defender, probably the best defender at the position at the moment. A good shooter, ball handler, scorer, who can fit right in the star lineup.
And you want him running with
he would
Smart.
probably be like, say again?
You want him running with Smart then, right?
I mean, you could have that's the thing about like if you have Kemba, Drew, Marcus Smart as like your 3 guards, like you could play really any 2 of them at a time, and it's like
it makes Kemba a little expendable if the need to trade him ever happen. I'm pro keeping Kemba. Of course, I don't want to get that misconstrued.
Okay.
No, I'm not. No, I love Kemba. Or if he does get hurt with another knee injury or something like that, then you shift ball handling duties over to him opposed to shifting them to Smart like we were a lot last year.
Right. And even like Kemba's proven already that he could be a really good off-ball player, like playing off Jason Tatum.
Absolutely.
Like, and that's, you know, like, and that's just a really valuable thing to do, to be like a guy who at one point in his career was like this amazing, like, you know, almost probably, I don't know what his peak points per game was, but like incredibly high,
20, like 26, I think.
Yeah, probably something like that. And it's just like on so much usage, like being the
Yeah.
entire team, like putting the entire team on his back for like an entire season and then winning like 30 games. But like,
And then coming
but
over
like
here
he went from
last year,
that.
and this is like, you want to play over? He's like, bet.
Right. And it's like, oh, I have Gordon Hayward and Jason Tatum now. Okay, like
Yeah.
to play off of, like, so it's like a perfect place for him to be, and he's shown that he's like really good at it too. So adding another guy that he potentially play off of, or like Drew can easily play off of Kemba too. Like I think the fit, like, because some people have been saying like the fit concerns are like there, and it's like, okay, like there's overlap with Marcus Smart, but like Drew would be probably like the best at the Celtics on getting to the rim, like from day one.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
So it's like he brings skill sets that like the Celtics don't currently have on the team, which is valuable.
Absolutely.
He has 1 more year on his contract, right?
He has like 2.
2?
Yeah, so we get him for at least 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it. But
and he makes like what, 25? So you could probably, so if you were to trade him for Hayward, you get him and one other player if you wanted that.
Yeah, we would have that.
Probably. I don't know how exactly like the matching works. I don't know. I've never.
What about Redick? Is Redick is he a free agent?
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
No,
I think so.
He signed with the Pelicans.
He's still there.
I'll look it up.
He must have signed for 2. And how Drew's stats right now, he averaged what, 19, 6 and 4 last year, and shot 35% for 3, which is no league average. So
yeah,
and that's what's splitting time with splitting handles with Brandon Ingram, who became the high usage guy. That's what Zion in and out the lineup. So
yeah. JJ Redick is signed 1 more year for like $13 million. So that might be too much, honestly, for Hayward then, because Hayward makes like 33, right?
Yeah, so 33, 34.
Yes, it might be too. I don't know how it will work.
Throw
I'm just anti JJ Redick in general. So
oh, are you? Are you?
I don't like him. I don't like him. Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, if he was on the team, like, I'd root for him. Obviously, like, if he's hitting 44% of his threes, like, I don't care. I'll get over it. I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know. It seems like a dick. I don't know.
So a trade for Drew, maybe get a bid for cheap, see if Baines should come back. But I probably think he would want to stick in Phoenix since they just have Chris Paul. But you never know.
He's just such a great guy.
Give me Baines in exchange for Ojale.
No offense to Semi, but the Suns probably hang up the phone immediately.
or at least Cantor. Like, I don't know. I mean, Cantor's
right.
Right.
He has an option. I forget if it's team or player.
He's player. They said something. They said something earlier, like maybe a couple weeks ago, about him wanting to test the market.
Yeah.
I mean, go test it, Ennis. You got it. Get the bag. Get a bag. Come on.
Fast, get the bag, Chandler. Don't worry about little less over here. We'll be fine. Oklahoma, baby.
They need a star to build around now. Go back.
Go mentor those young guys in this. Oh man. But no. What was the other trade? I think John Carlisle was like Hayward, and we get some Hawks, Pitts, or role players back or something like that.
So who?
Remember John last week? It was like Hayward to Atlanta, and we get some type of Pitts or whatever.
Oh, I never heard that.
We get like a couple of Atlanta draft picks.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like the 3-team deal or something.
Was this in like an article? Because I remember there was also like a Hayward for like Harrison Barnes.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
That one I saw.
Okay. This was just something I saw floating on the timeline.
Oh, okay. I don't know what it is then. I mean, like, I think, like, my, like, I guess, thought process on, like, Hayward trades is, like, there's almost no Hayward trade that you could do that's not going to make you worse, like, this next season. Like, if you trade Hayward, like, 99% of the time, like, you're just going to be worse next year. So you're banking on the fact that like he's going to leave in free agency no matter what after next year, assuming he opts in. So you just want something in return, which is fair. But like
my thing is, you can't trade them just to trade them, or trade them for a bundle of role players, because then we get negative value in return.
Right.
Which why if we do trade them, you want at least a similar skill set, which has been my whole thing this entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a player that can like at least, you know, you could trust like at the end of games to make a good decision or to create an advantage or do something like a Drew Holiday type player, like
that's what I'm saying. That's why I was saying
like a James Harden type player
a couple weeks. James Harden. That's why I was saying Oladipo a couple weeks ago, like just to throw a name out there, like a player, like just that type of skill set.
Yeah.
Don't trade Hayward and just bring me back like some shooters and some like late
don't waste the one that I like. The one that I saw, the Harrison Barnes one, was like Gordon Hayward for Harrison Barnes and Nemanja Bjelica, and it's like, okay, like I get it, like Bjelica, like he has a skill set that the Celtics don't have, but like he's under contract like one more year, and then you have to pay Harrison Barnes like $50 million for the next 2 years.
Harrison
Barnes,
so
it's like you're saying
Harrison Barnes got that much.
Harrison Barnes is a finesse.
I think he signed an extension.
He did. The Kings traded for him, then paid him.
Yeah, like
that's a horrible team, man. That front office is trash.
That's what irritated Buddy last summer.
Yeah, he had 3 more years left for $60 million. So you got to pay Harrison Barnes for 3 years. So you're saying like, we think Gordon Hayward's leaving, so instead we're just going to pay worse player $10 million less, but for 3 years. Like that's my thing with that contract is like, or with that like fake trade is like you're just trading him, like you're saying, oh, we get long term, you know, we get a player long term, but it's like you're getting a bad player long term.
Exactly.
You're getting like
so it's either keep him, let him walk, or get fair value. I would love to keep him. I don't care about that.
Right. I just try to keep him and be like, hey, like you want to re-sign here after next season? Like hopefully he takes something less than what he's like quote unquote worth, but like even like I would just rather try to re-sign him as a free agent next year than have to pay Harrison Barnes, then waste 2 years of Jason Tatum's prime paying Harrison Barnes. Like 3 years, I should say 3 years.
Harrison Barnes is like the most like definition of an average player that you could find.
Right. Like you're gonna be paying 30-year-old Harrison Barnes $18.5 million. Like I don't want to do that.
Champion Harrison Barnes though, the pedigree. You paying for the experience.
Second overall. Wasn't he a second overall? Wasn't he the pick?
He was. Oh, no. He was a second. He might have been like 5th, maybe. He was in like the top 10 though. Something like that.
If we're gonna do,
he was in the Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Harrison Barnes was the truth that rookie season. I thought he was a future.
I know, right?
I was rolling.
If we're gonna do something like that, I would want Serge Ibaka.
Yeah.
Serge is an interesting one. I don't remember his contract, but like
he's a free agent now.
Like he is?
Yeah.
Like that, it's definitely an interesting one then, because like that's right. Like he's like still theoretically like a good player. Like he does things that are good and he has skills that the Celtics don't really have at this point. Like so it's
shooting,
it's
shot
a better
blocking.
option. Right.
Yeah. Run him along. Run him out there with Robert Williams. That'd be very interesting.
Right. Hitting his third prime too, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Serge just keeps doing it, man.
We should have just traded Terry Rozier for him.
See, that was the fall off period when that was happening. So he was looking too good. Then, like, you know, the next year he's back at it.
right, exactly. Like that was when Terry was playing good and Serge was playing good.
Serge was, Serge declined, and then the next year he bounces back for like 10th time in the career.
He found the fountain of youth.
Right. Oh my god.
So some interesting options out there, though.
Yeah. What do you think about Mo Bamba?
I don't know. I haven't seen much of him. I think he's a good
that's the
project,
problem.
maybe. Yeah.
That's
right. I don't think.
And he's having like he has a real battle with COVID too. That's really
he's still like
some long-term issues.
He's still dealing with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, last time
it
they
came out
updated, it was
today,
go ahead.
like some sort of issues.
No,
Sorry, Dan, I keep cutting you off.
No, you good.
Nah, I didn't know that. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, I think it just came out today, like, which is crazy, but like,
that's
yeah.
great. I hope he gets
yeah.
better.
Praying for the guy.
Say yeah.
But
Yeah.
I said praying for the guy. I hope he beats it.
Yeah.
But if he was like healthy, he'd be a solid maybe project, I guess, the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to kind of like what I was saying earlier with like why you don't necessarily want to pay like a center a ton of money. Like if you just have like 4 or 5 guys that you can run out that have like differing skill sets, like you know, like I said before, like you got Rob, you got Grant, you got Tice, even like Ennis have like a skill set, you know, and there are guys that you can get in the draft that have skill sets, or like even guys that you can sign for the minimum that have skill sets.
And I think the center position is kind of like starting to re-elevate itself again. But unless you have one of those guys like a Bam, Cat, Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, if you aren't interested in him, unless you have one of those guys, you don't want to like make a big deal or try to swing the fences for somebody who could be that and pay him big money. Opposed to if you draft one and then you let him become one of those guys, then you would, in that situation, you pay him.
Right. It's the guys that can create. Like it's the big, you know, 7 foot tall or whatever, close to that, like creators. Like like, you know, Steven Adams is a good player, but he's not a creator. Like you know, he's not creating for himself, he's not really creating for others. So it's just like you don't want to pay a roll man $25 million a year. No offense, Steven Adams is really good at it, but like
hell no.
Definitely. But let's get into the draft a little bit though. That's where you become the expert on here. So first, who is the number 1 pick?
All right, like, well, there's a lot of ways to answer that. There's who I think is the best prospect, and then there's and then there's also like who Minnesota is going to take number 1.
Okay, well, who do you think is the best prospect?
My personal opinion, and like again, this is based on like my conversations that I've had with other smart people. Like I don't really watch a ton of the guys. Like I watch a couple games if I can, but like this is really just based on like conversations I've had with people like Max Carlin or Jackson Frank, guys like that, who like do this. Like they watch like not hundreds, but like many hours of games. Like
they be on
these guys. Right. And it's like they know these guys better than they know their own families. Like so based on like conversations I've had with them, like the top 3 guys I'll say are there's LaMelo Ball, obviously, Anthony Edwards, and Killian Hayes. And then it's really kind of just like a matter of like preference, essentially. Like I'm a big fan of Killian Hayes. Like I think if I were the Celtics and I were picking number 1 overall, I would take Killian Hayes. If I were a lot of teams, I would take Killian Hayes. He's just kind of like a 6'5"-ish. He's gotten D'Angelo Russell comparisons, which I don't think is true. Like they mostly make those comparisons because he's like not really like a bursty guy. Like he's kind of just a little slower. He's better. I would say he's faster than D'Lo is currently, but like he's just like a kind of bigger point guard. Go ahead.
That's like good looking jumper on him. That's all.
Yeah. His jumpers were he's done a lot of work on his jumper because he used to be bad, from what I know, at shooting. And then, but like just like a jumbo point guard, jumbo initiator that can like just do a lot offensively, like versatile defensively as well. He's pretty strong for his size, I think. And he's got, like I said, he's gotten those D'Lo comps. I don't necessarily see it. But he, you know, and the one big downside with him as of now is he really doesn't have a right hand. He's lefty. Does not really have a right hand, but like he could play, like he could do a lot of things. Like he could take off the dribble jumpers. He can initiate in the pick and roll. He can play off ball even. So he's just like a perfect kind of guy. That while like he may not be at the level of like a James Harden or like, you know, like those really elite like players, elite offensively, he's almost surely going to be a very good player who can create, which is important. And then who I think the Wolves are going to take is Anthony Edwards, who went to Georgia. He's kind of like just like a really athletic, like off guard kind of guy. Like insane. Like you see some of the things this guy does, like just in like mixtapes, which obviously isn't really necessarily like indicative of how good a player is, but like the guy can jump like out of the gym, right? And it's just a matter of like how engaged he is, because like he really didn't show a lot of like defensive engagement and stuff like that. But I mean, like for what the Wolves want, like they're not going to trade D'Lo, even if they like maybe should. Like they're not going to do it. So like they're not going to draft LaMelo. They're not going to draft Killian Hayes. Like they're going to draft Anthony Edwards. And obviously they're not going to draft guys like Wiseman either, who is another guy that's like in that top, or mentioned to be in that top tier.
Okay, I like Edwards for the most part. I saw a lot of some of his college film. Pretty good score, like you said, just the other end of the ball. But I think that's a lot of young guys now who are kind of a lot of offense first. So that's like just their meal ticket to get on the floor.
Right. Like he also stayed, I think, like at a public school in Georgia, or whatever school he went to in Georgia, which like a lot of people gave him crap for, like, oh, he didn't want to go to like a prep school to be like better, like, which is like, I mean, he wanted to stay home in Georgia, which is fine. Like, I don't knock him for that, but also he's not going to have to play that much defense against like public school kids in Georgia. Like when he's Anthony Edwards, like he's just going to score 40 points a game and they're going to win. Like, the Warriors would be a great place for him too. Cause like, imagine just being like a 19-year-old kid who's like good. Like he has the skills, and just being able to play off ball, off like Steph and Draymond. Like,
and you learn, and that's a great place to just learn from how to be a pro from a young guy too.
Right. So I guess to get back to the question though, like, I guess my number one guy would be probably, if it wasn't Killian, it would be LaMelo.
You high on LaMelo?
Hayes. Say again?
So you high on Melo?
Yeah, I mean, he's just like another guy in this class, like jumbo big initiator, like 6'7", and is going to like run your offense. Like, yeah, the shooting is still like dubious, and like whether you believe in it or not is really up to you. Like, he has some really like big problems getting to the rim and finishing at the rim, but like as far as just passing, like IQ go, like he is really just up there, and I think he has like good defensive instincts as well. So like he was kind of a meme, obviously, for a while. So like,
but he was like 16 when he was a meme, though. So I figured by the time he actually got to the point, he kind of ironed those little silly traits out.
So for him to be mentioned as like a number one pick potentially is like crazy. But yeah, like he is another guy that's in the running there, and then Edwards is in that like top tier of guys as well. Killian too, like if we want to get like, I was gonna say that just real quick, like Celtics specific, like if we want to talk about like guys to trade up for, like a lot of people are saying Onyeka Okongwu, who is good. Like I wouldn't be mad if we did that, but like if you're gonna trade up, you trade up to get Killian Hayes, because like he would be just like a perfect fit in with Kemba, with Jason, with Marcus Smart, with Jaylen Brown. It would be like seamless.
Gotcha. You told me something yesterday about Kira. You said he wasn't a good fit. What is that? Like, what do you mean by that?
Kira Lewis. Yeah, I mean
because the last couple of months or so, that's like been one of the main names I've seen floating. So I'm just wondering about that.
I mean, yeah, he's probably going to be like a lottery pick still. Like he's probably like, if I had to guess, like probably in the like 9 to 12 range. Like maybe the Knicks are just like, screw it, we'll take him, another guard, but. Like he's kind of just another small guard, and it's just like if you're not going to get someone like Killian Hayes who can like defend up or be more like a creator for others, like don't get me wrong, Kyra's a good player, like he's going to be good, but like there's just like better players who would be available at 14 who are better fits for what the Celtics want to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like if like even like the Kings wanted to draft him, it would be cool just because like there are definitely fit concerns with him and like Fox, but it would just be the fastest backcourt of all time, and it would just kill people in transition. Like that is kind of the draw of Kyra. He's just like a really fast, like, and I mean he can run an offense too. Like he is a good player. Yeah.
Do you see us actually trading up into the lottery?
I don't know. Like, this is something that I've thought about too, because it's like, it seems like Danny Ainge never really does that in the draft.
Yeah,
Like every year we say, you got too many picks, you got to trade something, you got to do something, and then he drafts Dershon Yabusele at 16. So it's like, if I had to make a guess, I would say no. Like also, I think the Celtics met with Onyeka Okongwu, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, maybe they're just doing their like due diligence if he falls or whatever. But if I had to guess, I would say they wouldn't do it. But if they did do it, I guess they would take the Okongwu. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't see the need for us to even have the pick.
Yeah. We don't have the roster space for 3 picks.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That is the problem.
Yeah. Just trade the picks, get a vet. Let's call it a day.
No.
I honestly don't care about the picks, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's the argument that like you want guys that are going to match up to Jason Tatum's timeline too, and like
for sure.
you're also
yeah,
and like you want guys that are on like cost controlled contracts, like you're going to have them for this amount of money for the next 4 years.
Yeah,
like,
but they still have to be contributors at the same time, though.
Right. Which is
why which is the problem.
Yeah, so I like Langford, Waters, and Grant Williams because they all do that. Robert Williams too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all match up timeline wise. They're all on good contracts. They give, well, aside from Waters, we've gotten great minutes from this season. So, like, I honestly could make an argument to where you move Ojale, Ennis, and Poirier, and you just slide those guys in and just keep going. Because it doesn't even at this point it doesn't make sense to even draft anyone.
Right. The path, like, I think the path to like real contention or like to be a real title like championship team is like obviously like we have Jason Tatum who's about to be, I think, no, he would sign his extension this offseason, but his last year of his rookie contract is this upcoming year.
Yeah.
So like the path to like being a real like contender title team is like either you have guys like Steph Curry who are just like GOAT level like like unanimous, like you have a unanimous MVP or like a LeBron James or something like that, or Kevin Durant on your team, where it doesn't matter really who the rest of your team is. Like you just have these like insanely good players. But even Steph, right? He was on a lower contract those first couple of years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Clay was on a lower contract. So like the path to contention is like you have your max guys. Like for us, that would have been obviously the past couple of years, Kyrie and Gordon and Al, and now Kemba and Gordon and Jaylen Brown is going to be this year. So like you have your max contract level guys, but like to really put yourself over the top, like you have to have like that all-star level producer or that like all NBA level producer who's still on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
Like, cause if you're not going to have like that third, like if you have, let's assume like you got 2 max guys, let's just say for like max, which is Gordon and Kemba, like beyond that, like Jason Tatum is on his rookie contract and he's like an all NBA level producer, like fringe MVP consideration level producer. Like, so it's like you have him, and I mean, he was obviously the Celtics' best player. So like that's what you need. And the Celtics made the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And they went up against another team that had an all NBA level producer on contract, and bam.
Yeah. And let it be known that we only didn't make the finals because we took ourselves out of the games.
Yes. Miami did not. We beat ourselves.
I like purged those games from my memory. I like completely like removed them from my like I watched them. I remember watching them. I have no recollection of what happened. Like
it's like watching young LeBron choke away like playoff games to like a lesser extent because like you just don't know how to close the games out.
Right. And I mean like that's what like I've argued that like the Celtics biggest problem last year wasn't like it wasn't that Jaylen Brown isn't good enough. It wasn't that Gordon Hayward sucked. It wasn't that Kemba couldn't hit a shot. It was that like Jason Tatum isn't yet good enough as the Celtics' best player to be the best player.
He just doesn't like he's talented. He just doesn't know fully how to be that guy.
he's knocking on the door. Like he's right there. Like he's 22 years old.
Exactly. Yeah. Like the hurdle for him last season, early in the year, was just going. Mm-hmm. So he mastered that during the regular season. But then down the stretch of those tight playoff games, it's a completely different story. And that's where he's at now. He has to get to that hurdle.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like I said, like he's knocking on the door. Like he's right there.
Yeah.
He's right there. And it's like he's 22 years old. He has so much time to figure it out. He's going to have 5 more years on the Celtics. Like
we're going to have until he's at least 28. So
right. So it's like you're like you just got to hope that like beyond getting another guy like on a rookie level contract, that's going to be like a real all-star level contributor. Like the hope is that like Jason Tatum essentially becomes like a true MVP candidate, like a top 5-ish guy, because that is the way to be like a title team.
And if that 25, 10, and 6 he was average during the playoffs is like him who he actually is, then I think that's a bet you take. So
right. I mean, he did like in the playoffs alone or in the bubble alone, like he made the same like leap in passing ability that it took Kawhi Leonard 8 years to do. So like,
exactly. Yeah. So he's on the right track.
I would say he's definitely on the right track considering he's like younger than us. Like,
So yeah, my thing is just in this draft, we just need, if we do keep any pick, obviously we keep the 14th pick, or we package that with another and move up, I guess. Mm-hmm. But like we just need one really solid contributor. So my thing is like, if we could include the other picks in the package for like another player or so, and like I said, just draft one good player with whether that's a guard, a big, or if we trade 14 in a package and then hit like on our 26th pick or whatever, that'd be fine too.
Yeah, I mean, and there are like, I mean, in the second round especially, but like you could even argue in the late first, because we have 26 and 30. Like you could argue in the late first round. There are a lot of guys even that like if they wanted to stash, like there's no like. I think I said this last year too, actually before the draft. Like there's no rush to make a trade. Like, and you said it before, Sam. Like you don't want to make a trade just to make a trade. Like
exactly.
You know, because like you still have to pay players, like you still have to like, you know, get players. You still have to find someone who wants to trade with you. Like you still have to find a player that's going to want to play for the Celtics or like be a good fit. Like that still all has to happen. So it's like, yeah, I mean, like I'm at a point where I'm neither opposed nor for like trading. Like if they do it, I'm gonna obviously be for it because I think it's the right thing to do. But if they use the picks, I'm be like, all right, like I'm getting my Tyrese Maxey jersey. Like,
so what's up with the kid from Maryland, the Jalen Smith kid?
They was
telling me he's more like our if he was there like at 26, we would take him opposed to our lottery fit.
Yeah, definitely not. Like he'll be there in the late lot, or not late lot. He'll be there in the late first. Like he might even make it to the second round. I mean, the draw with him is that just like he's a big who can shoot, which is kind of cool. But like he can't really move, is the problem. Like his hips, he just has like awful hips basically. Like he just can't move. Like laterally, he can't turn. He can't change direction. Like, but he's a big who can shoot. So it's like, you know.
Yeah,
positives and negatives, definitely. Right. So it's like he is definitely not going to be like some defensive stopper. Like he like remember how Rudy Gobert looked guarding Steph? That's going to be him guarding anyone. Like, because he can't turn. He's got his hips are just so like I think the way it was described to me was like his hips are so high off the ground. He has such like a high center of gravity that it's just like I mean, he's got long legs. He's tall.
Yeah.
Like.
So if a big were the option, it would be to trade up for the guy from USC. I don't want to butcher his name.
Onyeka Okongwu.
Oh, Onyeka. Okay, that's what we're gonna call
him. There's also Xavier Tillman in the late first round. You might be able to snag him with like the 26th or 30th pick. He played for Michigan State. He's just really good. Like he's like the draw with him again, not like the greatest rim protector necessarily, but like
he's a little undersized too, isn't he? Like what, 6'9", 6'8"?
I think he's not as tall. His combine measurement was 265 pounds though. Like, yeah, that kid, he can actually like really guard like anyone.
Oh, true.
Or bigs, I should say. Like,
yeah, he can really
and then like
get physical down there.
Right, and he has like such a versatility in like how like what defenses he could play in. Like he can guard pick and roll, he can guard in the post, he can guard like if he has to switch, he can guard drop, he can do this, that, and the other. Like he can guard so many different coverages. Like, and then also the draw with him is like his passing, like out of the short roll or out of the post or out of anywhere. Like he is a really good passer. And then he showed like he shot a little bit. He had like that at the combine or whatever workout he did, he shot like 48 of 50 or something. Like that means nothing. It's open gym. Like it really means nothing. But like, it's more about like what his shot looks like and how willing he is to shoot. And I'm sure like the Celtics had Aaron Baines taking threes. They'll have Xavier Tillman taking threes. Like
he whether a free throw shooter.
I don't know off the top of my head, honestly. I haven't looked at his like actual stats. I would think so. Because I feel like I don't know much about college basketball, but I feel like if you're a big guy taking threes in college basketball, you better be a good shooter, or else you're gonna get like yelled at.
You're at least like a good like mid range. You'd be at least a good mid range shooter in the NBA because the college 3-point line is a little shorter than the professional one.
Yeah. So like that's kind of the draw with him. Like he's a guy that like if the Celtics drafted him at 26, I would be really happy with, because again it goes into that like thought process of like then you got him. Like arguably as a rookie, because he was a senior, I think. So like he's already 22, 23. Like as a rookie, he'll be playing. He could play at the end of games. Like we know Grant can play at the end of games. We know Tice can play at the end of games. Like you have like a bunch of guys who can play at center, cost controlled. Like you're not, and then you just say, okay, like go guard and beat for 10 minutes. Like just hit him a couple times. Like you're big, just hit. Like you have 5 guys.
Just lean on them.
Like, right, exactly. So it's like, as far as bigs go, like, and again, if they did want to consolidate the picks, trade up for Okongwu is the same thing. Like as far as like defensive versatility goes, like he is amazing in that. Like he can guard literally every coverage you want him to guard. Like he is so smart defensively. The one thing again with him though is he's like 6'9".
He's a
like
big
if
boy,
you're like 2 inches taller. Oh my God! I think he has like a 7'4" wingspan though, which is insane. Or 7'2" maybe.
Bam is only like 6'9" too. So.
Right. I mean, and he's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, dude's a tank. And another player. What's up with is Wiseman the favorite for the Warriors?
I think that's what's been reported. I mean, I think the Warriors have leaked that they like basically every player in the top 10. So you never really know. Like they just want to like, trade that pick. So. Right. They just want to trade that. Like they're like, why are we adding a 19-year-old to our team? Like we want to go for a championship.
They're gonna Wiggins and the second pick us to death.
Right. And then like, well, even the Minnesota pick in 2021, it's like top 3 protected. That's a good pick too. Like, so they're just trying to get off of it. But yeah, Wiseman has been linked to them. Wiseman has also been linked to Charlotte. They're saying like Charlotte wants to trade up to 1 to draft Wiseman, which I think would be foolish. The thing with Wiseman, like he's a good player, and for all intents and purposes, he seems like a great guy from what I hear. Like really awesome guy, and he kind of screwed over the NCAA, which is like awesome.
You always love to see.
Right, like absolutely, like he got a bag, he screwed the NCAA, like we love it. But the thing with him is like again, like just really can't move other than like north south, like. Him running in the open floor, amazing, right? Like he's a 7'1" guy that can run faster than like all of us, can jump out of the gym, right, and can do stuff like that. But when it comes to like guarding in space or guarding the pick and roll, like I would rather any of us be doing it as opposed to James Wiseman. Like he just gets lost in coverages, like. He like it's not even effort with him. Like he just gets lost. Like
he's just lost.
And compounded with like he can't really move laterally.
Yeah, but so he'd be in, like with Anthony, he'd be in another good team if he does get drafted to the Warriors though. He at least has like a Draymond to cover up for a little bit of his flaws.
Yeah. Like
and
if
when
I'm
Steph
a top
is out
10
there
prospect in
getting
this
30 a game, so
Right. If I'm a top 10 prospect in this draft, I am praying that the Warriors draft me. Like,
exactly. Missing the defensive rotation is a little less painful when Steph just walks on out there and like catches the three to make up for
it. Right. It's like, oh, you want me to bench me? You want to bench me? Fine. I'll sit at the end of the bench. I'll just watch a Warriors game. Like, I don't care. Like,
exactly.
So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Wiseman, if he falls to 14, which is not going to happen, like I'd be fine with the Celtics taking him. Just because he like the skill that he has that no one else on the Celtics has is he's enormous. He's like 7'2". Yeah. Like he's enormous and he could probably run faster than anyone on the Celtics. Like so again, it's if he falls, which like I said, he probably won't. He's a guy. Do you want me to go into some of the guys that I think the Celtics should draft at 14? Or
go ahead, take it away.
All right, so I mean, your Kentucky guy, Tyrese Maxey.
Hey, his lack of a jumper doesn't like scare you away a little bit.
All the people that I've spoken to think he's just going to be able to shoot really well. Like they believe in the shot. So
okay, that's fine.
Right, like that's what I'm saying. Like if you like you guys take it, I'll take it. Like, and even without it though, the Celtics have enough shooting to cover for that easily. And again, like he'd be a guy that if he came onto the Celtics, like he'd probably be the best guy getting to the rim on the team, like immediately. Right, exactly. Like, and he's another guy that can like Kemba can play. I mean, obviously, probably not his rookie year. Like Brad's not playing him, but like Kemba can play off him, or like he can play off Tatum and Kemba. He can cut, he can slash, like he can do all these things, play in transition. Like he can attack off the catch, he can attack off the dribble, like he can attack closeout. So it's just so many things that he could do that the Celtics don't really have. So
yeah.
He's like, yeah, I would say out of the guys in the lottery range, he's number one for the Celtics.
Okay. Who the other guys?
Yeah, other guys for that 14th pick include guys like Patrick Williams. He's kind of like a big wing. I would lean more towards like a big as opposed to a wing with him actually. Like, think almost like Markieff Morris kind of.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is with him though is he can't like he's not the greatest mover. Like so when he's playing defense, he's more of a big. But I think also the draw with him is like he's just like enormous. He's really good at defense, and then he can kind of shoot a bit. Is and again like the whole thing with like versatility of coverage is he can play in a bunch of types of defensive schemes and be really good because he's just like smart.
Gotcha.
And then another guy that I'll highlight is Cole Anthony, who is a guy that's kind of falling down on some draft boards. Like some people have him even in like the late teens to 20s at this point.
He was lighting up before he got hurt this in college though.
Right. Yeah. He had. I think like people basically say he had like a nightmare college season. Like he just couldn't do anything. But like the one thing that he can do and that we know he can do, like from all his high school tape, from all his college tape, from all his tape forever, like is he could shoot. And he could shoot off the dribble, he could shoot off the catch, he could shoot anywhere. So like even if like and if that like that one skill is like pull up shooting or just shooting in general, like if that's the only thing that he could do and he does everything else at like a average level, like he's gonna be at least a backup point guard in the NBA for like years. Because that right, like that one skill is just so good to have like he will be able so like that's why I have confidence in Cole personally. And I would be fine if the Celtics drafted him. So, that's it really for the 14th pick though. Like there aren't that many guys that I think will be there that kind of entice me.
That Devin Vessel kid's a pretty good shooter though, isn't he? He shot 41% from 3 in college.
Yeah, I think like there was that video of him a couple weeks ago or like last week where he shot it like behind his head that went viral but apparently he was just joking around, so like let's hope it's true. But yeah, I think the draw with him is he's a bit of like a shot maker, like a tough shot maker kind of guy. Coming into the year I think there were concerns about his shooting, but I think from what I've heard from people, like he alleviated a lot of those concerns, and he's just but he's just like a wing, and he's a guy that you can really never have enough of on your team.
I feel you. And hold on, that was another name. I got it right here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, RJ Hampton?
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was asking about. What do you see? I had him on my things like a guy we would take with our 26th or 30th pick, obviously. What do you think about him? So he didn't really get a lot of PT. And what is it, Australia?
Yeah. There's definitely like concerns with him. Like mostly just like he could just end up being like a guard or a small wing who can't really shoot and also can't really defend. So like that's kind of like he's kind of like a bit of a low floor type of guy. It is risky, especially for a team like the Celtics where they're not going to like get him reps where he needs it. So like I'm kind of lower on RJ, especially for the Celtics. There are guys that I would rather take as far as he goes, but I mean he's like. He has too many concerns, at least from my perspective.
That's why I always like looked at him as like a project guy. I guess we took with our 30th pick, then let him play in the G League and maybe bring him up if we had like an injury or two or so.
Right. Yeah. And like I'm also confident in like Maxey or Cole Anthony or even like Pat Williams being available at like 13 or 14, excuse me.
Yeah.
For the Celtics to be able to take. Yeah,
I'll take you. I'll either take her. Like I said, if we don't move up and get on Yeka, but I kind of want a bid so we don't end up overpaying for one like in a trade. But if not, I'll definitely take Maxey or just a guard, a backup guard in general.
Right.
And let Wanamaker walk. So I think that's a position that we do need because Smart plays a lot of minutes with the starters. He starts a lot of games over the season too, whether it's for rest, injury, or probably going to rest
Kimba.
Plays
like a wing.
Exactly. Like, and we're gonna rest Kimba a lot this season too, I would say.
Yeah.
To like preserve his health. So I think that backup point guard is a position that we do need because whoever we drive is gonna end up playing a lot.
For sure.
Right. So like again, like this goes back to Derek's point, like maybe you do just want to trade the picks for like a vet. So you get a guy that you're like sure of can play in the NBA. And two, like you know that Brad's gonna actually play minutes. So like again, like I said, like there's definitely like if they end up trading the picks for a vet, like obviously this conversation is all like moot, but like I'm just like I'm selling you on the guys that like that should be available that the Celtics should be taking if they keep the pick.
That's what we got you here for, man.
Yeah, I'm sold on Cole Anthony for sure. If that were to happen. Yeah.
I'm just like I said, like I'm just so sure that he'll like just because of the one thing that we know he does really, really well. Like I'm so sure that he'll be an NBA player. Like
definitely.
At least a fine NBA player as like a backup point guard who just comes in and just hits threes and can pass.
Yeah.
That's it.
As long as he's playable, knock down the shot here and there. Maybe grab a steal or something.
Right. Like there's really not much that you need to do if you're hitting pull-up threes. Like
exactly. And on this team, we have every other need filled in some type of facet. So all we need is our rookie to just play little spots here and knock down the shot there and just keep the floor space.
Yeah, and just show us something like. Like Romeo showed us on defense. Like he showed us that he's like a really good defender. Like
I keep forgetting about Romeo. I cannot wait for Romeo to play this year.
I'm looking forward to it every time.
I think Romeo really. I think when he gets healthy, he really is going to help out a lot on both ends. Yeah, obviously he can play defense, and then he gives us another off-ball slasher cutter guy who easily get to the rim,
and he would fill that spot that Gordon Hayward will leave if he.
If he does go.
If he does
the other wing spot that we need.
Yeah.
In college, like I don't really watch college basketball. I hate it. Like when I watch a lot of these guys, like I watch their high school games because I don't like college. I'd rather watch a public school in Minnesota than watch like any college game. But like didn't in college like Langford kind of do that almost like Maxey type thing where he could just always like he was a great finisher. He could get to the rim.
Yeah.
Like
and plus his thumb was hurt, so he couldn't shoot so much.
Oh yeah, so his broken jump shot like.
And Romeo was like Mr. Indiana basketball like his senior year.
Right. So. Which like isn't that meaningful? Like isn't Indiana like a low key good basketball state? Like
it's a great basketball state.
Really good, really good state.
Yeah. So
a freaking high school legend over there. So
right. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Grant too. Like I said earlier, you need these guys on the rookie deals to like be all like maybe I won't say all star, but they need to be like high end starters. Like
exactly, and if they at least need to be attractive for other teams at the same time. Because you want to show that because the thing for not losing a star today is that you need to show the star that you're going to be aggressive in getting better, which is where the other poor front offices keep failing. Like the Bucks are going to lose Giannis,
which is why
the Bucks are going to use Giannis because they didn't trade for Chris Paul today.
Right, like which is why we're going to start the cat to Boston narrative soon. We're getting it started.
We're almost there. So that's another thing. You need to at least draft attractive players.
Yeah,
because you never know when a bundle. you never know when one good pick in the bundle of role players is going to get you Anthony Davis.
Right, exactly. Like you trade Josh Hart for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, like you'd have told me like 2 years ago that you trade Lonzo, Hart, and Ingram for AD. I would like stop it, but you never know. So
yeah.
Well, I think too, I think the Pelicans got like basically every Lakers pick, right? Other than like this year, someone else
own their picks for like the next 5 to 7
every year after this year.
Yeah,
and I think they got like there was something in that deal that made it even better. Like obviously the Pelicans got rid of Anthony Davis, but like they were gonna lose it anyway. But like there was something in that deal that made it. I forget something with the picks, like. That made it even better for the Pelicans. Like something that the Lakers definitely didn't have to do that like they just did. And it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of what it is. So I mean, we laughed about it whatever it was that day.
Yeah. I can't believe I can't remember.
I'm still laughing.
I remember that's one of those trades where like I remember exactly where I was like when that trade happened. I was with one of my friends who's a Pelicans fan. Like when that trade happened, I was like,
yeah, I was
Mike. I was like, Mike, they traded AD. He was like, and I was like, yeah.
I was on the phone with one of my friends that day. I think I was driving home from work maybe. And we was like sitting on the phone, like, yeah, looked at my phone, I was like, oh, Anthony Davis got traded.
Texting and driving, Sam?
No, I was in the yard. I put it to the yard. The car was turned off at this time. And then I was talking on the phone, not texting. So I was like, yeah, bro, oh, Anthony Davis is a Laker. That's cool. But that's the thing, like I said. So if the picks aren't if they don't turn the stars for us, you at least want to convince another team that they'll be great role players or great stars for them long term.
Yeah.
So you can stay aggressive in the trade market and have valuable assets.
Yeah, like trading for players on rookie deals is like the best thing you could do.
Exactly.
Like if you really like a player, like you have him under contract and you have like restricted free agency rights for him. Like if you love that player and you're willing to pay him, like trading for him on his rookie contract is the best thing you can do.
You don't want to waste Tatum prime or have him second guessing. So I say stay aggressive. But I don't think he'll worry about that because he's played with like a different core almost like his first 3 years each. So
yeah, but like if I'm Danny Ainge, like I have Jason Tatum on speed dial. Anytime I think about making a trade or signing a free agent, I call him first. Like, are you okay with this? Like that's what I'm doing for the next 5 years. Like, because
you don't want to offend the stars, especially in this era where stars are just like walking out and requesting trades by the day. So.
Yep.
Right. I mean, and like also like Jason Tatum is this good at age 22. Like the list of guys that were this good at his age is very, very short.
Exactly. It's like the LeBrons and the KDs or the Kobe's and,
Like the best player on like a conference finalist, fringe, not championship, but fringe finals team. Like you could say, oh, the East is weak or, oh, the Bucks choked or, oh, like they shouldn't have beaten the Raptors. Like what? No, like they still did it. Like they still did it. And they did it in part because Jason Tatum was good enough to get them there.
Third youngest conference final team ever. The other one is us too.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Like where Jason Tatum arguably was the best player that year too. Like
it's us and OKC in the top 3.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the parallels exactly. It's like obviously I'm not saying Jason Tatum will ever be the level that KD is.
Yeah.
But that's the trajectory. Like that's the level he's at as a 22-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like obviously a reasonable person, even if he maintains this level of play like for the rest of his career, like he's a Hall of Famer. Like if he maintains this,
if he's 25,
just until he's like
10
31,
for like 5 more years. Like he's
you're a Hall of
incredible.
Famer. Like
Exactly.
so like to even like fathom that he can get better than this is like insane, but at the same time it's realistic and it's reasonable.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And I still like Jalen's fit next to him, at least for the time being. Just like I said this other day, Jalen isn't a star or the guy you give like the heavy touches to and say, go do this like you would Tatum. But he's still the guy that you want to keep worked into what the team is doing consistently while he's on the floor.
He's a really good off-ball player. Like at the end of the day, like he's a really, really good off-ball player. He's a really good shooter. He's obvious. Like
he was
like he's arguably
the lowest usage player for anybody that averaged 20 in the league.
Yeah,
this past
season.
Is
that true? I actually didn't know that. But like, that's crazy. Like, I mean, arguably like the best spot-up shooter on the team in that like. Yeah, like Gordon Hayward might be a better spot-up shooter, but he doesn't do it as much. Or like Jason Tatum might be a better spot-up shooter, but he doesn't. Like he's the best shooter on like any sort of volume. Like like the things that he does well, Jaylen Brown, like he's like better on the team or the best on the team at. It's just that like he has to minimize some of the things that he doesn't do well.
And I think we had a good personnel for that. Like I said, that's why keep Smart on the floor with the starters. That's why if we trade Hayward, that's why it's so important to get that same value back.
A creator.
Because Hayward on the floor was like the best thing ever for Jalen's ascension this season.
For sure.
Right. I mean, even if you get like, I'm trying to think of like a random one, like Thomas Satoransky. Like he's a guy that can, like,
that was bad.
I mean, obviously you get someone else from the Wizards. I don't know why he's on my brain, or I guess on the Bulls. Or is he in? I forget what team he's on.
I have no idea.
Wizards or Bulls? I don't remember.
I think he's
Wizards. Okay. He was on the Bulls first. He was on the Bulls first, and now the Wizards, right?
No, that was Wizards first, then Bulls.
Yeah,
so he might be Bulls. He's currently Bulls.
Whatever it is.
Whichever
it is. I think it is Bulls.
Yeah.
But like even if you get, but like a guy that's just going to be able to initiate offense and utilize Jalen as an off-ball player, where he's maximized, because like that's where he's going to be his best. Is when he's running around screens.
And even his few on-ball touches, he's still good at beating all guys off that first step, and he's developed that little post jumper in the mid-range too, which you want to take advantage when he has those mismatches.
Yep.
Right. So it's like you want like this, and like you said, like the Celtics have great personnel to be able to maximize what Jalen does well.
Yeah.
Because they have Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, and Gordon Hayward, and Marcus Smart, 4 guys who are like really, really good at initiating offense, creating for themselves and creating for others. Like really, really good at it. All really good passers. So it's like they have the personnel.
Exactly. And he's like our second best player in transition, like after Tatum, of course.
Mm-hmm.
He might even be the best. I have to go look at like the numbers again, because there's like those, the thing where it shows like
because he has to. He's like the most athletic guy on the team in terms of, like, so he just has that physical advantage over most guys that Tatum hasn't quite developed yet either. He runs fast. He jumps higher. He's stronger and like bullies guys more consistently fighting anybody else. Like like that Mavs game where he kept like bouncing around Jalen Brunson in the post every time he like matched up.
That's always so funny to me how we always bully Porzingis.
Right.
It's always hilarious to me.
so we have a good core, guys. So
yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
Yeah. So
about.
Right.
Again, it's like I hate to be like doom and gloom, but it's like I'm not even doom and gloom, but like it's the biggest problem is Jason Tatum is not good enough. And obviously, like I'm not saying that Jason Tatum isn't good. Like he's an All NBA level player. Like he arguably should have been All NBA second team this year.
Maybe not even good. Maybe just not like fully smart enough yet. I would probably say.
Like he just needs to like, and this is gonna. I mean, it's probably harder to go from like the level he's at to the level he needs to get to than like.
Yeah.
I don't know, like from like a bad player to a regular bad player to a good player. Because like to get to that level, you have to be like the LeBron Jameses, the Steph Currys, I can't think of any other players.
But if he can get just like maybe a tier below that level, because obviously their level's like top 10, 15 all time level. So if he can just get like maybe that second tier superstar level and
that
pair
Embiid,
him
Jokic kind of level.
exactly, and just keep building great teams around that, we have a good chance there. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried about free agency this year either. We probably just
I don't even know who the free agents are this year, honestly.
I couldn't tell you. Just maybe get like a decent big since Cantor's walking.
Yeah, Redick
a solid shooter.
I think Korver, if I'm not mistaken. I think Korver might be one.
What is Burton's price tag? Because everybody that's like so high on him.
Is he a free agent?
Yeah. Maybe he set out the bubble to preserve his health for free agency.
That's right. That's right.
Damn.
I mean, he'll get a lot. Like, or at least he should get a lot. Like, that boy can shoot.
Yeah, definitely. And people keep saying Gallinari and Jeremy Grant just opted out today. Like right before we started this.
Did he?
Right. Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So there's some solid guys we can pick up. Yeah. We don't need any big overhaul, obviously.
Right.
I mean, honestly, like, if Hayward opts out, like, see, the thing is, like, I don't remember our cap space situation. I think if we do, like, if Hayward opts out, we would have Kemba, Jalen on, like, max. Maybe, I don't know if we'd have space for another guy, but, like, I don't know. Maybe we could.
I think we're kind of capped out outside of Tatum because we have his bird rights and stuff like that.
But I think you'd have to like do all the free agents first and then do Tatum. I think like because the order, like because you can go over to sign Tatum.
Yeah, but, like, his deal doesn't take effect till next season anyway. So.
Right. So it's like I think you'd have to do that last. But other than that, like you could do, like maybe you could sneak in and try to be like Davis Bertans, come here, like we're gonna be really good. We just need you. You're the missing piece.
I think if we renounce everybody or whatever. If we get like a full mid level, which is like 10 mil or so, like that. I think somebody was telling me the other day. I'm not the salary cap person.
I honestly don't know. This is really not my like area of
the salary cap isn't real anyway. Go over
it.
Yeah. I mean, Danny Ainge said they're willing to pay the luxury tax anyway.
As long as we do so.
I mean, look, like I said, like he's just got to call Jason Tatum, ask Jason Tatum what he wants.
No, Tatum, you cool with this?
Like, right? Like if Tatum says, like, put all our free agency money behind Jeremy Grant, then you go get Jeremy Grant. You do whatever you can to get Jeremy Grant. Like a happy Jason Tatum is a happy me and a happy us. Like
for sure.
Fast. Well, Jack, we had fun having you on here. In the close of every episode, we do a top 5 segment where I pick out 5 questions specifically for you and get your top 5 on. All right. So first, it's always the generic basketball question. Your top 5 favorite Celtics since you've been a fan.
5 favorite Celtics. Okay, in no
just
order.
Just your favorites. No order.
Yeah. In no order. Kevin Garnett. Paul Pierce. Kyrie. I got a picture of him right there. I can't not say it. You can't see the glare, but I got a picture of him right there.
Oh man,
it's Terry Rozier.
Okay.
Everybody has a leftover Kyrie photo.
I don't. I got a shirt.
I have a bobblehead. But on that note, also probably Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then probably it's so hard because it's like 10 years of Celtics, like which has basically been my entire. It spans so many like different like eras. Like we had the end of like the big 3. We had like the rebuilding years with Isaiah, and then we had the Kyrie years, and now we have the Jason. So it's like I'm leaving guys out, but it's like, oh my God, like I guess my last one would be.
You still got 2 more. Hold on. You said Pierce, KG, and Kyrie.
Yeah, he's got one more.
And Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
Hold on.
That's 4.
Yeah, I'm about to say, there we go. One more.
Yeah. So it's a toss up. It's between Isaiah, Jalen, and Jason. So it's like that's so.
That's hard.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
it's so hard. I'll just say Isaiah. Like those years, like with him, were just so awesome. So if you ask me this again in 10 years, Jason's gonna be on the list. So
yeah, historic.
Oh, gotcha. All right, next question. We need 2 movie questions. You're a somewhat of a film buff. You write your brief description on the what's the little movie reviewer page that you all do?
The
what's the little website you guys review movies on?
Oh, Letterboxd.
Yeah, you write your 2-sentence letterboxes. Give me your top 5 favorite movies from last year, I guess.
2019.
Yeah.
Okay, this is see another tough question. No order.
No order.
Knives Out.
Right.
Rocket Man. The Irishman. Richard Jewell.
Love Richard Jewell.
And Uncut Gems.
I figured you say that. Nice.
There are so many good movies from 2019. Honestly,
yeah, definitely.
It was such a the last movie year ever.
Yeah.
Oh man! And the last question. You know, I had to ask you this one for. I forgot to ask Dottie this, so I gotta make up for with you.
Is it a Star Wars question?
You already know a Star Wars question. You already know this one. Give me your top 5 favorite Star Wars movies.
This I could do in order. This one I'm doing in order.
All right.
Number 1, The Last Jedi.
Let's go.
Controversial statement, but I'm making it. Last Jedi, number 1.
They'll come around eventually.
That's right. You're on the agenda, Sam. Number 2, Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, original Star Wars, New Hope. Number 4, another controversial statement, Phantom Menace. This one has nostalgic value for me. It was the first one I ever saw. I remember I was like 3 years old or 4 years old. I remember this. I had nightmares because of Darth Maul. Like my dad just showed me this movie, and I'm like, what? I remember I was scared of Darth Maul but Phantom Menace number 4, nostalgic value for me. And then number 5 is probably either Rogue One or Revenge of the Sith. I'll go Rogue One.
I'm rolling.
I'll go Revenge of the Sith. I changed it.
I'm rolling with either one of them. Rogue One, the best movie none of us ever wanted.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. It's honestly for the last 30 minutes alone. Like that's honestly why I even consider it top 5. The last 30 minutes is like perfect Star Wars. Like
tells Zach from Film Twitter that it's actually a good movie.
Zach knows it's okay. I'll have a talk with him.
Have you seen The Mandalorian?
I saw season 1. I haven't had a chance to see season 2 yet.
Do you like it?
I honestly might just wait till all the episodes come out and try to avoid spoilers as much as possible, just because I'm studying, so that takes up like all my time. Like right after this, I'm going to be going into contract law and agent principal relationships, and so it's like I just haven't had the time to I haven't watched a movie in forever. Like I haven't really watched shows really. I'll put shit on in the background when I'm studying, but I haven't So once once I get back to that though, I definitely want to catch up on Mandalorian. I did the first season. Yeah, the first season, I don't know. It was weird. I started on not really enjoying, but as it went on, I got more invested in it, and I actually did enjoy it a lot. I really honestly, I really like the music a lot from it. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, I definitely, like I said, definitely got invested to the point where, like, after I saw the last episode of season 1, I was like, damn, like, I want more. I wish it wasn't like 8 episodes or whatever.
Yeah,
so I'm glad it's back.
That's
right.
I haven't gave
I'm
it
definitely glad it's back.
I haven't gave it a chance yet since what is it? The Rise of Skywalker. Since that, my brain has been kind of distant from everything Star Wars, like at least the past year or so. And I can't they butchered it so bad. I can't allow myself to get attached to anything else from the franchise until further notice.
Right. I was gonna say, like, you asked me my top 5. I'll give a bottom 1 Star Wars movie is Rise of Skywalker.
See, my thing is, like, it was almost tolerable for me. Like, I was having fun watching it up until like the last 30 minutes, where it just became like a poorly written like superhero movie.
It was an event, like, it was, yeah, like they tried to make it into an Avengers movie, like,
thank you,
which I get, like, it made tons of money, like that's the purpose of it, is Disney made tons of money off it, like
come on. But it was just so shameful in everything it did, like from Rey getting the blessing from the past Jedi to wake back up, to
and like
what's his name, Palpatine getting the superpower up in. It was also cliche. The Rey kissing what's his name for no reason. Like,
right, and like obviously like as us being, you know, heads of the Last Jedi agenda, like they just do all the undoing of Rian Johnson. Like they just erased him. They totally erased him, and it's unacceptable.
Dude, I spent the whole year.
Celtics fan Rian Johnson.
Facts. I spent the whole year like telling everybody, I was like, "Yo, they should go wherever they want with her from now." It's like no matter what they do, it's gonna no matter what they do, it's gonna be good. And then I see it, like, oh, I was like, you guys almost had me.
Like anything they could have done to, like, I mean, obviously this is our opinion, but like anything they could have done to like pick up from where Rian Johnson left off would have been good. It would have been so good.
I'm like, you have a completely clean slate to be as creative as you want to for this, and you threw it all away and gave us the most cliche
grandpa.
I read the leaks too. I was like, no, this can't be right.
I remember that, and you were like, Jack, it's as bad as you think. I was like, no.
I was like, the leaks can't be that bad. And in the theater, I'm like, oh, this is okay. And then, like I said, the ending is just like, oh, my friends beside me, he's like, this is so Disney.
I mean, yeah, like you can't expect, like, I think we kind of knew from as soon as like there was like the backlash to The Last Jedi, I think we kind of knew, we saw it coming, like they're gonna gonna screw it, like
they're gonna screw this all over, and they did just that. I thought they wouldn't. I thought they wouldn't fold, but they gave in to the nerds. They gave all the way into the
nerds. That's why you never listen to nerds.
Never listen to the internet nerds. Never.
Right.
Stay off of Reddit, J.J. Abrams, please.
That's right. Oh my God. 4chan J.J. Abrams.
Please, man, please. Oh man, but we enjoyed having you on, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. This was fun.
Yes, sir. Hope this was a good break from studying for you.
It was, but unfortunately now returning.
I feel this is my day to go back to work in a couple hours. So,
ooh,
right.
Enjoy.
I'll post through the night as I used to do while you all are like sleeping.
There you go.
I'm like ranting about the Celtics like 4 a.m. before everybody getting my bad tapes on before everybody can wake up and yell at me about them.
That's right. That's right. At some ungodly hour.
Right. Before the 6 p.m. crowd wakes up and is like, hey, it's like, oh, there it is.
Oh, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Right. But we appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for the draft insight and everything.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.